Alright guys, hey, today I'm going to be doing a guide on my version 2 gearbox that I have with me. This is my CQB style gun. I was going for high rate of fire on a 7.4 lipo, which is shooting about 22, a little bit higher RPS. On a 11.1 it's in the 30s, and it is a pretty durable build, and this will be my guide as to what it looks like inside and why I did certain things. So I've already taken it apart, I've already taken all the screws out. This is a G&G gearbox, so this has the weird screws are on this side. Still don't really know why G&G did that, because you have to take the screws out this side, then flip it over, and then open it up. So let's get this open. Alright, so you can see it's pretty clean in here. I'm a fan of medium grease. There should be silicone oil in the compression parts, and there should be a light lithium grease on the gears. That's it. You really don't need that heavy of a grease going on here. Let me disconnect my compression. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go over my compression and the upper half of the gearbox real quick. Alright, so right here we have the compression parts, and going from front to back we have an APS full metal O-ring air nozzle. This air nozzle is done very, very well. I actually got a deep fire air nozzle to replace this, thinking I might get a bump in FPS, and the deep fire did not work correctly. So this APS nozzle, while the company may not produce the best products, this air nozzle and some of the other internal parts I use are exceptionally well made. So this is one of them. This works great. This is a stock G&G tappet plate. It is not really flexible. It's pretty firm. Very durable. Alright. Haven't broken one yet. So APS air nozzle. Then I have the APS cylinder head with a little bit of sorbo down inside, just to take some of the shock. My idea is you should always have the air nozzle and the cylinder head from the same brand. They tend to mesh better. Like this one right here is nice and tight, not too tight, but it's got a nice seal. That O-ring does exactly what you want it to do. Alright, so tend to match these up, and you should get a really good air seal. If not, you can use some plumber's tape to make this a little bit smaller or make this a little bit larger to get a better air seal. Now, I'm not aware if anyone else does this, but I have created a one-piece cylinder out of this. There's absolutely zero air leak between this cylinder and this cylinder head because they are physically attached to each other. This is a 2 O-ring cylinder head, and I have actually put a bead of super glue around the between the 2 O-rings and stuck it in there. And it is, I guess it's created some sort of vacuum because the cylinder head will not move. It's nice and stuck in there. For example, here's a G&G polymer piston head that I really like. Gets really good air seal. Look at this. Nice. I can't push past the porting barely at all. So really good air seal. Really like these piston heads. Oh, by the way, this is an ICS 4-port for a 363 barrel. Really like these G&G piston heads. Every setup I seem to put them in, they get perfect compression with the cylinder. Once I do the modification to the cylinder like I like, these piston heads will do just about any cylinder I've tried them in. I really like these cylinder heads. I guess it's because the size of the ports and the way they're spiraled, they just work better than others. For my piston, I'm running an SHS. I believe it's a 14 tooth, one tooth already removed, which is all I need for my angle of engagement to be corrected. One tooth already removed, full steel rack. I don't have a magnet on me, but I've already tested it. It is steel. These are very durable pistons, and it's the lightweight version. It's already got holes in it. Eventually I will Swiss cheese it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I don't have a drill available to me at the moment. It has the speed rails, which are good for spreading lubrication. It has a weight inside. I'm thinking I'll take that out eventually. I might put some ball bearings in there just for durability. Yeah, very good piston head. Remember to put some sort of glue or Loctite on the screw for this, because it likes to walk off. So every once in a while you just want to take your screwdriver, stick it down inside, and tighten it down, just to make sure that everything is nice and tight. So again, with that, very almost perfect compression, like nothing. Even with an air nozzle, it's just same thing, perfect compression. I'm actually getting too high of an FPS to do this. Use this as indoor with a 110 spring, which is supposed to get me 350. Apparently my compression is so good that it's currently getting 380 with this cylinder set. So I recently had to drop down to a 100 spring instead of a 110. I'm currently running, it's got the G&G gearbox shell. Right here I have a JG mosfeted trigger system. It's a simple mosfet. I don't have it with me currently because it is getting changed to Dean's, which is, I just gotten tired of Tamiya. Tamiya is a very common plug, but it's also very troublesome. The little alignment pieces never really want to work with your batteries, so I just bit the bullet, and I'm getting the Dean's connectors installed. I'm not good with soldering, so I'm having someone else do it for me. But like I said, simple JG MOSFET. It involves a few more wires. This is the front wired version. I prefer front wired because I use handguards instead of a free float rail because it's lighter. That's what I like on my guns. I like a light gun. So what happens is with this MOSFET is no electricity is going through the trigger contacts, so they'll never burn out on you. What's happening is there's a signal wire that looks separate, and the trigger contacts are acting as a signal to the MOSFET that it should allow power to the motor now. So it's a much more reliable system, plus it has a fuse you can replace. I use 30 amp fuses, and I've only blown one so far. I've blown quite a few 20 amps, so 30 amp seems to treat me a lot better. Now for my gear set, I am running a GMP 2-tooth short-stroked gear. That is to correct my angle of engagement. It gets me perfect angle of engagement with my piston. If we want to, let's see here. Alright, if we want to look at this, get in there. Alright, so if we want to look at this, you want the first tooth on your sector gear to hit the last tooth of your piston at about the 1 o'clock to 12 o'clock area, and that's what it's doing here. It's got almost a perfect 1 o'clock mesh. It hits that tooth a lot better, and then it transfers over to the other teeth just a lot better. This will help the piston last a lot longer, and the teeth on my sector gear to last a lot longer. So GMP sector gear, and then as you can see I have a G&G bevel, and then my spur gear as well is G&G. I just like these a lot better than the GMP because GMP only has 2 notches for the anti-reversal latch. I don't know why. It creates this very wheezy where you fire and then it has to slide backwards. With the 5, it just seems a lot snappier, and the way the teeth work seems a lot smarter to me, so that your alignment is more perfectly aligned, and if you go past it, it doesn't wear into the rest of it. But I use a GMP M120 motor. It's a very good motor, but this is a ferrous motor and not a neo magnet motor, so eventually when I can afford it I'll upgrade to either a Lonex A2 or A1 and maybe some SHS high-speed gears. Alright, so that's that. And then for spring, here's my non-linear, which means there are clusters of tight coils and open coils, And remember, where you see more tight coils near one end, that is the back of the spring. This is my 100 that has been very well worn in. And here's a dboys metal base ball bearing spring guide. It has a polymer shaft. I see no problems with these. I did have to file it down a little bit so that the spring would fit and move freely on it. That was the one complaint I had. Everything else seemed to work fine. I'm running this on a 300mm barrel in a Mark 18 style build. It has a railed handguard, and battery is in a battery bag on the front. I typically run a 7.4, but I have an 11.1 that I run sometimes when I just want to have a BB hose. Not saying over 20 rounds is not a BB hose, but it definitely 30 rounds is definitely up there with a lot of BBs all at once. Also, for housing the GMP 120 motor, I am using a Magpul PTS MOE pistol grip. Be aware that with some setups, this pistol grip will create a lot of gear noise. So fortunately with this one, for some reason the GMP motor mixed with the G&G bevel creates very little noise, and then this pistol grip does not. It actually lowers the amount of noise even further. So I don't know. It's all about the alignment of the motor pinion and the bevel gear as to your motor noise, and it makes a very good connection between the two. That's it for now. I will put another clip at the end of this to show it firing and just a quick rate of fire. Thanks, guys. Alright, hey guys, this is the lower half of my gun put back together. I have the pistol grip put on it. I have the Magpul PTS MOE. I also have a Strike Industries trigger guard to replace that very uncomfortable metal one that comes with the gun. And I have some grip tape on both the pistol grip and the mag well just for gripping. I should be doing a review on this gun in its full form later at another point. Also, here's the MOSFET I was talking about, and here's the removable fuse. I actually have a box of these fuses over here. So, I mean, it's like a couple bucks and you get a box of these. So, I mean, great deal. You can get a resettable fuse one, and works just fine as well. This set was about $20. You can get them on Evike or eBay for decent prices, and they will definitely work. So I'm going to be testing real quick on a Turnigy 20C 7.4 volt 1000 mAh battery. This is a Lipoly 2-cell. Alright, that's why it's a 7.4. 11.1 would have 3 cells. Alright, so this is the thing with Tamiya connectors. Like, they never... This is why I'm upgrading Deans. Alright. That... I think that's together correctly. Alright. So, semi. Pretty good. Nice trigger response. And full auto. Alright. Very good, guys. Thank you for watching.